Hi, welcome back to the CNT podcast. My name is Tommy Terrio, and I'm here with Justin Yormark and Clam Chowder Guy, a guest who has wanted to come on for a while, and we decided to bring him on for free agency predictions. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we get into our predictions for what promises to be a very crazy free agency, he has a card that he wants to show off from his collection.
All right. So this right here is a 2019 Panini Immaculate David Fletcher 5-patch autograph, 1 of 1 printing plate. It's got some really sweet patches from the Angels jersey and a nice autograph. I got this as a Christmas gift a couple years back, and it's definitely the best Fletcher card of my PC. Pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Super cool. One thing I noticed is every patch has like a piece from what looks to either be, it seems to all be from the name on it. The bottom left one being the actually having part of the ring on it. I like it when the patches always have something big in them.
Yeah, it's super sweet patches.
It feels like you're listing off every kid's like dream, like, hey, I'm gonna get a guy for my PC. I'm gonna get a printing plate. I'm gonna get an auto. I'm gonna get a relic. Wait, make that 5-patch relic. Like there's so many things, just listing everything off.
I don't even know how much, I got this as a Christmas gift. I'm not sure how much this is even worth now because obviously it's a 1 of 1, but I'm probably never going to let this one go. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Very
That's
cool
awesome.
card.
Yeah.
So we got a long list of free agents. Let's jump right on into it with Christian Vasquez. I personally think he's going to re-sign with the Red Sox.
Yeah,
same. He's going to re-sign with the Red Sox. Nothing else is going to happen besides that.
I don't see any other team going after him even.
And maybe you talk to him once, you say, hey, what do you think of this? But no, not much is going to happen in that department.
Yeah, he's the best He's the best catcher in the free agency. I mean, the Red Sox can't afford to lose him at this point.
Mm-hmm. Because if he does leave, you're not going to want to put Schwarber in that catcher. Hasn't played there since like his early time with the Cubs, and he's never that great in the field as a catcher. He was never that great in the field anywhere, but
yeah.
Another guy who I'm certain will re-sign is Freddie Freeman going back to the Braves.
Again, no
they
discussion.
Just won the World Series.
Yeah, no discussion.
Freeman to the Braves is very easy. Next up, we have Anthony Rizzo. I wanted him to come back to the Cubs, but source came out a few weeks ago that from a family member that he's eager to go back to the Yankees, and so I think he will go back to the Yankees.
Yeah. I personally think he's going to sign with the Mariners, actually. I don't know why. I kind of just feel like they'll offer him a decent amount of money and he'll just go there. I don't know, just a hunch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see this trend. I don't think the Mariners are going to pick up any first baseman. I don't think it's worth it for him.
I agree what Tommy's saying. I would love for Rizzo to come to the Mariners, but we have Ty France, who is one of our best hitters, if not the best hitter this year, and he was consistently good. And I think we're going to give him the start at first, even over Evan White.
I think Evan White's just like, I don't know. I don't think he really deserves the spot on the team, at least not yet.
Mm-hmm. With how well Ty France played, I would not be surprised if they traded Evan White and a few other guys for a pitcher or something.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be shocking, no.
Either way, I don't think Evan White's staying with the Mariners for much longer.
And if he is, he's going to be in AAA at least, or AA even to start out the year.
I don't think he would go to AA, but
no,
definitely
I think he'd go AAA.
Next up, we have who I think is third in voting the AL MVP, Marcus Semien. I think he resigns with the Blue Jays.
You go ahead. I have an interesting one, so you go first.
Okay. All right. I think he's going to sign with the White Sox. I think that I think the White Sox, that's like the one piece they need to be legitimate World Series contenders for the next few years. I feel like he'll be able to give up a little more money to go to a team like the White Sox and play with a lot of really good players to be a World Series contender for a few years to come.
Out of curiosity, where do you slide? Like how do you see that lineup working out then?
I'm not 100% sure at this point. I'm going to pull up the roster right now and see exactly where I'd put him because I kind of did these kind of quickly. But
you're
I
doing
noticed
that,
yeah. Go
I'll
ahead.
do
Yeah.
mine. I had him going to another AL East team, but not a team you might expect. I have him going to the Baltimore Orioles.
Huh.
The reason I say that is the middle infield of the Orioles is tragically bad and hasn't been good since Manny Machado left. So I think that with Adley Rutschman coming up and a lot of other young, hungry prospects, I think now is the time. This rebuild has been a rebuild for a while, and I think is now slowly going to start to turn around. And I think picking up a quality bat like Marcus Semien, I think, is the first step to that.
I think that'd be really cool. I think he'd be really good though. I don't see the Orioles throwing that money at him.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's an interesting
drawback.
prediction. But...
It is interesting. I would love to see that him go to the Orioles, who are like so close to contending when they call up Jason Rodriguez and Adley, having Cedric Mullins and Trey Mancini, and I think that'd be a very interesting team if they added Marcus Semien.
Yeah, so for the White Sox, I feel like he would be playing second base on a daily basis with Abreu at first base, Tim Anderson at shortstop, and Yohan Moncada playing at third base.
Yeah,
like that's where he'd put in. Yeah.
So he'd be replacing Cesar Hernandez, basically.
Yes, I have him going to a different team.
Mm-hmm. Well, following that up is Cesar Hernandez, who I think is going to go to the Marlins, and I think he's a perfect fit for them because the Marlins are kind of ready to contend. They have a great pitching prospects coming up. I think Sixto will finally get to go into the majors. Picked him up in the fantasy league that I believe you're both in, and he didn't play a single game, and I dropped him after a month. Easily the worst pick of the entire draft. And so I think he'll finally come up. They'll have a great pitching. They'll have Jazz Chisholm, who will play short, and then have Caesar at second, and just good, solid, reliable second baseman.
I think that based on, I mean, this is kind of funny because he just said Marcus Semien to the Orioles. I think Cesar Hernandez is going to go to the Orioles.
I feel like Cesar Hernandez is more realistic for the Orioles.
Costs less money. Yeah.
Like maybe if they somehow pull in both and then really go into contend.
Yeah, that'd be weird with the AL East having all decent teams. I don't really know about that. That'd be weird.
I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any. Like even I don't care if Adley Rutschman hits 40 homers and hits 400 and gets 150 ribbies. They're not contending in the AL East. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. It's a tough division.
Yeah.
Have you given your prediction for him, Tommy?
No, I haven't.
I saw you shaking your head with mine when I was saying mine.
So I was looking at the Marlins. That was one of the teams I was thinking about. I was like, but no, I don't think it worked. I don't think personally that it makes sense. I am going to Oakland because Oakland is losing everybody. Like if you want to look at Oakland, they're losing everybody from their team into free agency, essentially.
Yeah, I could see him going there, but I feel like that Oakland's going to re-sign a lot of them or sign new players. I have the A's being a big ballers in free agency. Next up is Kyle Seager. He's obviously done with the Mariners. He's not happy with the front office, and I understand why. I'm sad to see him go. I mean, he was with the Mariners for so long. I think he goes to the Giants. I think the Giants are going to pick him up in a last resort to truly contend before they really have to somewhat rebuild. It's probably going to be the last year of Brandon Crawford being this good and Brandon Belt. They both had resurface years. I think this is the last year they can really contend. So they're going to go out and get Kyle Seager.
Yeah. Do you want to go first with yours?
Oh, no, you can go ahead.
Okay. So I also think it's the Giants. I think this is the wrong move, but I think it's the move that's going to happen. Let me clarify this. I don't agree with this, but I think this is what is going to happen. And the reason I say that is the Giants are clinging on to this hope that they can contend. I think winning, 106, 107 games?
107, I believe.
107 wins in a division they weren't supposed to do good in at all. I think that was it. That was the last hurrah. That was saying, okay, let's give Posey his farewell tour. And we didn't know it at the time, but you get my point. I feel like they're going to be clinging on to contention when there isn't one there.
I agree.
This one I'm really not that sure about. Honestly, I don't really know what Kyle Seager is going to do. A part of me really wants to say that he's going to go to the Brewers. Don't ask me why. That's just kind of what's coming to my mind, but I don't really know. Yeah.
I could see that, but I would hate that from him going from my second favorite team to my least favorite team.
Yeah.
I would really hate that, but it also makes a lot of sense, and I could see him going there.
And
he was the hardest one for me to make my prediction. He was the hardest one for me to predict because I feel like he could go really anywhere.
But he doesn't really fit perfectly on any team. So I'm not, that's a really tough one to do.
Yeah, it was a hard one for me to predict.
Yeah.
Next up, we have my former favorite player, but not anymore since he was traded, Chris Bryant. And here's why I think the Giants go out and get Kyle Seager. Is because they don't re-sign Chris Bryant. He leaves. And so they start panicking, they go out and get Kyle Seager. And here's the funny thing is, I think Chris Bryant is going to go to the Mariners. And so that the Mariners and Giants are kind of switching third baseman. And Bryant goes to the Mariners, who are so close to contending, and they just need like one big star bat. And I think Bryant's the perfect star because he's versatile. He can go play outfield if they need him, if there's injuries. He can play infield. He can go play first if needed. And so having a versatile star, I think is exactly what the Mariners need to make the playoffs. And I think that's what they go out and get in Bryant.
I'm gonna actually, I have two teams that I think Bryant could definitely go to. One of them is the Mariners, because I agree with everything you just said. Another team I think could get him is just the Giants. I think they could end up re-signing him. It's likely, but I think that the Mariners and the Giants could have a bidding war. And I feel like both teams would be willing to drop a lot of money for a guy like Bryant, who can play, outfield and third base, and could probably play first base if you need him to. So he's definitely one of the biggest I think the biggest non-shortstop in the entire draft. I mean, the entire free agency, sorry.
I agree. He could easily resign, but that might be a little bias in me wanting to be able to have Bryant back on one of my two favorite teams.
Okay, so I had Bryant written down for the M's as well. I don't have it as of about 10 seconds ago. Don't ask me why, but I'm just thinking through this, and I just I don't see this as where the M's are going to spend their money. So that being said, I'm going to go with another one that may be a little out there, but I think that he goes to another NL Central team, if you will. I think he goes to the Cincinnati Reds, who have stocked up on third baseman. And the reason I say that is that I don't believe in Mike Moustakas' bat. And I think that Eugenio Suarez serves them better elsewhere than third base.
I agree with that, yeah.
It makes sense. I just don't like to think Bryant on any team besides the Cubs, let alone a division rival. So I don't like that take, even though it makes perfect sense, and he would fit on the Reds.
Yeah, he definitely would.
I'm moving on because I don't want to think about Chris Bryant in the Reds jersey anymore. Eduardo Escobar, I don't really have much to say. I think he just goes to the Brewers. Not the biggest name, but a solid player who I think will go to the Brewers.
I'm kind of thinking the Royals. Again, not really much to say. The Royals go out and get him. Nothing really much else to talk about.
That'd be an interesting infield once Bobby Witt Jr. gets called up. Whit Merrifield Jr.
I'm so excited for Bobby
Escobar.
Witt.
That'd be an interesting three pieces.
Yeah.
I have him going back to the Brewers as well. There's not much to say. He's if they don't go out and get a Kyle Seager or a Chris Bryant, just that fallback option, I think is safe. He played quite well last year.
Next up, we have Carlos Correa, who I have thought that he's going to go to this team since the trade deadline, when he came out and said that he's not re-signing. I think he's going to go to the Tigers, and I think the Tigers are going to make the playoffs next year. I think they're going to sign a few more pieces, and I think they're going to call up Spencer Torkelson, and a lot of players are going to prove where they belong. Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal are going to have great years. I feel like I just think Akil Badu, they're moving in the right place, and I think Carlos Correa is the shortstop they need for the future who can help propel them into the playoffs, along with the other players I have them signing.
I think that he's also going to go to the Tigers, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs next year. I think they'll make the playoffs, but a couple years in the future, maybe 2-3 years. I just don't think that they'll be able to sign anyone else besides Correa. Notable, I don't think this offseason. Maybe one or two other players, but I feel like they're still in the rebuild status, and they are going to need everyone to perform very well for them to make the playoffs. But I feel like they could make the playoffs in the next couple of years, and Correa would be a perfect fit for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not gonna like my pick. I have him going. I'm resigning. He said he wasn't gonna resign back before they decided, hey, let's just make a World Series run. We're not gonna cheat. We're gonna play completely clean and still be one of the two best teams in baseball. Mm-hmm. So let's just bring the boys back together, and yeah, we're just still gonna be one of the best hitting teams on earth. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I mean, I would pick him to go back, except for the fact that he said he wasn't, which makes me think that he's going to stick to that and that he wants to leave. It's the only thing I'm basing it on for him not resigning is that he said he wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I think he could. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I just think improbable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there were talks about the Cubs going after him. I don't want him on the Cubs, even though he's great. I just really don't like him because he cheated. And it sucks. Like I went to a Manos Astros game. I have a signed ball of him, and he gave me his pen. So it'd be super cool to put into the Cubs PC, but I don't think he goes there, nor do I really want him to. Mm-hmm. Now the next one is gonna make Tommy sad, but Clam Chowder happy. It's Trevor Story. Yep. I think he leaves Tommy's favorite team, the Rockies, and signs with Clam Chowder's team, the Angels.
I agree.
I have another one. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to do this a lot. I mean, you've already seen it a couple times already, but I have him going to an interesting team. I have him going the opposite direction. He's going east. I have him going to the Philadelphia Phillies.
I like that. That's my second pick. Yeah.
Because, I mean, oh boy, Didi Gregorius. Oh boy. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. They have some good pitching there. I think you get a little bit more. You have Trevor Story to be another big hitter because Harper can't do it on his own. He tried to do it on his own and almost got him to the playoffs, but he can't.
He nearly did do it on his own.
Mm-hmm. But I think that'd be a great pickup for them.
That'd be interesting. Another team that I could see him go to is the Cardinals and reunite with Nato. But I'm not going to pick that as a Cubs fan because I don't want.
Do they have the money to do that? Like I know you're just throwing that out there, but do they even have the money to do that? Like
I think they have enough. I mean, they got a nice $50 million from the Rockies.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if they have the funds for it. I don't look at salary cap when I do this. It's a little too confusing for me. But I've seen other people say that, so it makes me think they have enough to make it possibly happen.
Yeah, as a sports fan throughout my entire life, I've looked at teams and I've been like, oh yeah, they're not going to sign him. They can't. And then they do. So I just don't look at salary caps because I feel like that puts limitations on what a team can actually do because they can work around those kind of things. So I just choose the team that I think is likely to go to. And for Trevor Story, that is the Angels, but that's also pretty biased because Angels need a shortstop and they love to spend money on big bats, even if they spend too much. They've shown that with Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Justin Upton throughout the past 10 years. So I feel like
I was ready to keep going.
Yeah, the list really goes on.
Honestly, yeah, it's sad, but it's true.
Out of curiosity, how does it feel to draft every pitcher available? All 20 rounds. All 20 rounds or something.
Yeah. It was I think all 20 rounds they drafted 19 college pitchers and then one out of that one IMG Academy in Florida. So 19 college pitchers, one high school pitcher. I'm happy with it. I think that was a smart
way to go.
We need pitching.
They have Ohtani, Rendon, Trout for hitting, and I think they're going to add Story. I think that was the right thing to do to draft all pitching.
I feel like they're just throwing they're throwing every pitcher at the wall, like, and literally just seeing what sticks.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
Clash of the
sure one of them will
Titans
be
at
good.
this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you also
Yeah.
have Reed Dietmars, who's good. I like him.
Detmers, yeah, he needs to prove himself in spring training, though. He didn't show me a lot, but he also got put up against some of the best teams in his first 3 career starts. I think it was like the Dodgers and the Astros and the A's or something like that in his first 3 career starts. Not the greatest way to start off your career.
Yeah. Moving on, though, we got another shortstop. We got Corey Seager. I think that he leaves the Dodgers and goes to the Athletics. I think the Athletics are going to lose a few pieces, but I think they're going to gain pieces as well. And so I have Corey Seager being one of those pieces that they do add.
I think that he's going to go to the Cardinals. In all honesty, I think that I think they do have the funds to do it. I feel like they'd be able to make it work, and he'd be a great infield addition to an already really good infield with Goldschmidt and Arenado. And I feel like they'd move on from DeYoung because he hasn't shown them enough to keep him in the starting lineup. So they'd either bench him or trade him.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm
I,
gonna switch to that even. Like I had him going back to the Dodgers, and I was just like, okay, just status quo, not just hold the line. But I think the Cardinals makes more sense for Seager personally.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
It makes sense. I don't want it to happen at all.
Yeah.
Next up, we have another former Cub, Javier Baez. I think he's going back to the Mets. I think that, like, he used to be a top 10 player, and he's just become a little too inconsistent for any team to throw a ton of money at him, unless it's the Mets wanting to keep Lindor happy with paying him that much, and by keeping a good friend of his on the team.
I have an interesting one here because the Yankees seem to get good players all the time, but I feel like this is going to be the one time that they really slip. I think they're going to sign Javier Baez. They're going to pay him way too much money, and he's going to suck. That's just my prediction. But I feel like the Yankees are not going to be able to get Correa or Seager or Story or any of the huge names. So they'll go with Javier Baez, and he's not going to do that great, and they'll just waste a lot of money on him. That's just my prediction, though.
The prediction is realistic. I don't like the sound of it because I don't want him to go to the Yankees, nor do I want him to do bad.
Yeah.
I'm going with him to the Mets as well. So here's the thing: is you could consider every player in the book for the Yankees. Like I don't like their middle infield doesn't need it. Like in all reality, it doesn't need it. You have Gleyber Torres, you have DJ LeMahieu, you have other pieces in there that you can throw around. Like I feel like people are just getting too desperate, like with how it's like with that team. And I just think I mean I agree with Justin. Like you just keep it going. That hitting had actually turned around like the last 2 weeks of the year. Unfortunately, no postseason berth came because of it.
Yeah.
But
he's a good player. He's great defensively. He's good offensively. He's just a little inconsistent, and then he does talk a lot, which doesn't help him a ton. I feel like he kind of talked a little more without having Bryant and Rizzo to like stop him. Like what he said about the fans. That also, with them not liking him as much, that might make the Mets not want to re-sign him though.
yeah.
Next up, we have Mark Canna, who recently was visiting Seattle. So the man was all making a push for him. And I think they're going to land him. I think they're going to get Mark Canna because right now the only outfield lots are Mitch Haniger and Jared Kelenic because Kyle Lewis is not consistent enough by staying healthy. As much as I love him, he's not staying healthy. And let's say he does stay healthy, then we just play Canna at DH, or we put Jared Kelenic in the minors for a little bit, or have him come off the bench because he did turn it around late last season, but he didn't have the best rookie year.
Yeah, I like that one. Another team I could see him going to is the Marlins. They could use a guy like him on the push to contention, and they're in the division where they can do that. You know, they add a couple pieces. I don't think this is the year that they land a superstar, but I feel like they'll get there eventually. And I mean, they did really good in 2020. I love the Marlins. I like the Marlins a lot. They're kind of like the underdog that you want to see win, and I want to see them win, but I just don't think this is the year. But I do think they'll land Mark Canha.
I don't want to see him win. They beat the Cubs in the 2020 playoffs. I
Yeah.
do like Jazz Chisholm, and I do really like Sixto Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I dropped him in the 10th round of the fantasy draft.
I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know how I got here. I don't know why I'm on the Phillies bandwagon, but I am. They don't have an outfield. Outside of Bryce Harper, they don't have an outfield. If you look at the Phillies' official depth chart on their website, you have Bryce Harper in right and then Matt Vierling in left and center. So unless this guy is Usain Bolt and runs a 3.9 40-yard dash, he's not playing both center and left. They need fielding.
That's funny how you say that. Because our next player, Kyle Schwarber, I have going to the Phillies. Oh, well, I think that if the universal bat DH comes out, he'll be playing DH, not outfield. But as of now, I have Kyle Schwarber going to the Phillies.
I'm sorry, go on.
I was just saying it's kind of ironic. Tommy's saying that they need an outfield, and he thinks they're going to get Mark Hanna. I think they're going to get Kyle Schwarber.
I think that Schwarber will either sign with the Phillies, or I think he could actually sign with the Indians, kind of now known as the Guardians. But I think that they need an outfielder, and they might be willing to spend for a guy like Schwarber. I don't really know, though. I'm not confident in either.
The Guardians were able to get Jose Ramirez for $12 million option, which just has to be the best club option ever. He's a top 3 third baseman, and he's not number 3, and arguably not even number 2. And they're only paying him $12 million.
Yeah, they got an absolute steal on that.
There's no good option for Kyle Schwarber. I'm just going to say it. There's no real home. I mean, I could throw out some names. If you want to get confusing, you could throw out a bottom end team like a Diamondbacks or a Rangers even.
I can see
feel
the
like
Rangers.
The Rangers is a random team, but I feel like it makes sense because there really isn't many homes. I like the Guardians pick, but I guess they're like, I don't see a team, and I'm going to talk about this later with another team, with another player specifically, but there's just not homes for a lot of these just solely power bats.
Yeah. Next up, continuing the outfielders, Eddie Rosario, who was amazing in the postseason. I have him going back to the Braves. I think that they're only gonna keep like 1 or 2 of the outfielders, like of him, Jock, and the World Series MVP Jorge Soler. I think they're gonna choose to keep Eddie Rosario because he was consistently good.
I have him going to the Nationals. I feel like this is one I'm not really confident in per se, but I just feel like they could use a guy like him, at least for now. Might maybe dump him at the trade deadline. I don't really know. I don't think the Braves will pick him up, but they don't really have any like consistently good outfielders besides Juan Soto. Victor Robles is decent, but they have the other outfielders they have are Yadiel Hernandez, Andrew Stevenson, and Lane Thomas. I just feel like he'd get a starting spot on the Nationals. And depending on how they do, maybe keep him, maybe don't. I'm not really sure.
I feel like you only get him as trade bait. That's it if you're the Nationals, because there's no hope of contention at all. I think Eddie Rosario is going back to the Braves. He is a quality hitter, a quality fielder, but I think he's going to be a Randy Arozarena. Big showing. He's going to be the turnaround, that big piece in the postseason, and then he's going to falter the next regular season. And I think that's what we're going to see out of him.
I could see it. Next up, we have yet another Cubs player because Cubs trade everyone on an expiring deal. Jock Peterson, Jock Tobo. Really enjoyed watching him. Had the polls. I think he goes to the Athletics. I feel like they got to replace Mark Hanna. They choose Jock Peterson to do it.
I agree with that. I think he will go to the Athletics. I think that's a good team for him. It's a good fit. I really like Jock Peterson, and I'm still kind of annoyed that the trade to the Angels that was so close to happening never did, because, I mean, Ross Stripling was not really good, but neither is Luis Rengifo. So I like him, and I'd like to see him play often. So I'd be cool with him on the A's, as much as I don't like the A's. I'd be cool with it. I think he'd fit there.
I think he'd fit there too.
I'm gonna bounce off of what you said, Chowder. I'm gonna go with him to the Nationals. I think that they go with the budget option and they just say, "Hey, Rosario's going to be too expensive. I think we pick up a budget option who's still a very a quality fielder." I think they go with the Nationals. They probably just you stick him in a corner and just say, "Hey, or have fun."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Next up, we have Starling Marte. I think he resigns. I mean, they just traded for him. I predicted that too in the it was like right before Tommy came on. I did trade deadline predictions. I predicted that Starling Marte would go to the Athletics, and I think he's gonna stay there.
I actually think he's gonna go to the New York Mets as I'm sorry, did Michael Conforto have an option or is he a free agent now?
I'll look into that while you keep going.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if Conforto is lost, then they are going to want an outfielder that's good. And I think Starling Marte just fits that. I mean, he's a good outfielder.
Conforto is
Conforto's
gone.
gone?
Like he is
right.
a free agent.
Yeah, I don't really know where I'd get Conforto to go. He's not on the list. But yeah, I'm not
He's
really sure
not.
about that one. Yeah, I think
He's
Starling
not.
Marte to the Mets.
Yeah, I could see it.
So just a thing. I know we had talked about outfielders in the Mariners, but he's from Seattle. Just a tidbit. I'm not saying he's going to the Mariners. I'm not even gonna throw out a prediction for him because I hadn't done any thought into it. But just a tidbit. He is from Seattle.
So
I don't know though. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I think Marte does go back. I mean,
Yeah.
he's.
Oh, sorry.
They need somebody back. They need to bring somebody back, and I think he's one of those small pieces that they bring back.
Yeah,
I agree.
I know
next
that.
up.
Oh, sorry. Go on. My bad.
Go.
I was gonna say I know none of us have him written down, but what do you guys think about Conforto?
I think he goes to Diamondbacks.
I don't have a prediction for him, but
That was just off the top of my head.
Or the Angels throw $100 million at him. I mean, that's
honestly,
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Yeah, I could see it. I wouldn't be happy, but I could definitely see it.
I'll say I wouldn't hate him on the Rockies. The reason if we gave him a reasonable deal, if we got a fielder that could actually play in the giant Coors outfield, I wouldn't hate having Michael Conforto. Like I wouldn't hate it. Wouldn't be great, but I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, either of those makes sense. He'd really sign with anyone who could give him the most money at this point.
Yeah. Next up, we have the most clutch player in the wild card, Chris Taylor. I see this like the Mariners doing Chris Bryant thing. I think he goes to the Tigers because he's so versatile that he'd be perfect there. He could play second, he could play third, he can go play in the outfield. And this is why the Tigers also get Chris Taylor, which is why I think him and Correa and the call-up talk, those three additions, and then I have one more that make those three additions and the one more I have, that's why they make the playoffs as a wild card 1 or 2.
I think that Chris Taylor is going to replace Jackie Bradley Jr. in the Brewers outfield. Jackie Bradley Jr. it looks like, I think he's the starter right now. He just doesn't perform. He just, at this point in his career, he doesn't deserve to even be on the bench of an MLB team. And Chris Taylor's versatile enough to really fit anywhere, but I feel like he could be a good spot in the Brewers outfield. And that's why I think he'll sign with the Brewers.
So I think there's two options that I have going through my head. Number one is he just goes back to the Dodgers. The Dodgers say, "Hey, look, you're the reason we made it past the wild card." Or he goes to the Kansas City Royals. I think he brings a level that they can slide him anywhere. You want him to replace Mondesi at third? Okay, great. You want to slide him in at short? Okay, great. You want to replace Benintendi in left? Sure, go ahead. Do whatever have him pitch. The Royals bullpen needs an upgrade.
I feel like almost all bullpens can use an upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I feel like the Royals are on the bottom of the barrel.
They might be under the barrel, honestly.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Nick Castellanos, another former Cub, and he's going to come back to Cincinnati. Going to re-sign with the Reds. I don't see any other team offering more money than the Reds would.
I'm actually going to go a little more in depth here, and I'm going to take back something I said earlier. Right? I actually, when I looked at the list, I realized I didn't have a prediction for Nick Castellanos. I've been thinking about it this entire time, and I've decided that because he declined his option with the Reds, he's not going to re-sign with the Reds, and he is going to sign with the Detroit Tigers, his former team. And I think that they are going to make a push for the playoffs this year. So I'm taking back everything I said earlier. I feel like it's definitely possible. They're spending no money on anyone. They have the money to bring Castellanos back to the Tigers and to sign Correa and to possibly make the playoffs this year. But obviously, it might not happen. I don't think it's super likely, but I don't know if he'll want to come back. But I think once Correa signs with the Tigers, assuming he does, then Castellanos will want to come back, and I think he will.
Yeah. I feel like, though, you said because he declined his play option, I think because he has such a great year, he just wants more money than what his play option was.
That's another part of it. Yeah.
I think he stays in the same division. I don't think he goes to the Reds, nor the Pirates, nor the Cardinals.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Yes.
I think he goes where Chowder said Taylor was going to go. I think he goes to the Milwaukee Brewers. I think
you just
the
heard
Brewers.
Justin.
I think the Brewers. I mean, their hitting was abysmal. Their pitching was, one of the best. I mean, that rotation and that bullpen. We don't need to talk about Williams and his broken hand, but
yeah,
that was embarrassing. But I think that's a great bat to put in that outfield alongside Yelich. And if you bring back Escobar, that's a good trio to throw your hitting core behind.
If he's leaving the Reds and staying in the same division, he's going to the Cubs. Next on the list is Jorge Soler, the World Series MVP. I did not like that take at all. Only if you were going to do that, you could have said he's not resigning with the Reds. He's not going to the Cubs. Still, like, bring me hope in having them as the final two.
Where's the fun
that was the reason. Yeah, exactly. That was the entire reason.
That was why I did it.
Jorge Soler, I think he's going to go to the White Sox because he's going to want money for being the World Series MVP, and the Braves just think, we don't want to give you that much. We have Acuna coming back, but the White Sox think, hey, the Braves trade for him. They went on to win the World Series. We need to push to make it further in the playoffs, and so they signed Jorge Soler and kind of overpay him.
I think that actually he's going to re-sign with the Atlanta Braves. I feel like that he showed them enough to be able for them to pay them enough money, even though they're also going to sign Freddie Freeman. That's inevitable. But I just feel like that I don't really know about Marcell Ozuna. He hasn't shown me enough in the last time. And Acuna's not back till May, I believe. So I feel like Soler would be a good person to bring back.
I thought he was going to be healthy by the start of the season.
I read something today that it won't be till May. That could be wrong, though.
That would suck. I've really missed it watching him play.
Yeah, I had him as my MVP prediction last year, but I also had Trout. Both my guys got hurt.
Your guys, Tommy drafted Trout first overall in the fantasy league.
Ooh, that's.
And I
think I did too, actually.
So the number one thing that I need to do is not get the number one pick. Whatever happens is I don't want the number one pick.
Yeah,
fantasy baseball, Mike Trout. Fantasy football, Christian McCaffrey.
Me too, McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Jorge Soler. Two options. The White Sox, as Justin said, and the other black and white team.
The Yankees, really?
Yeah.
I can see it, dude.
You just throw him in center and you just say, okay, we're just going to go full power bats in the outfield. We're going to go Stanton, Judge, and Soler.
What happens to Gallo?
I think they trade him, in all honesty.
Okay.
I think he's a valuable trade piece.
Hot take. Joey Gallo is not a top 15 outfielder, nor is he barely top 20, if that.
I agree.
He's
a good
only
hitter,
good at hitting.
but
He has great power. He has a low average. His defense is below average. I think he's severely overrated.
and he can't even hit for average. He just hits home runs. That's really it.
Yeah.
So for a place like Yankee Stadium, that's a good spot. But I feel like if he gets, I don't really know. That's kind of a weird one.
Yeah, I think Joey Gallo is very overrated. We did an overrated, underrated, probably rated on Instagram. First one I did was Joey Gallo overrated. I remember. I've been saying that since the end of the regular season.
If you don't mind, may I lead this one off, Justin?
Yeah.
So this one is Nelson Cruz, and the reason I want to do this one is that I had said earlier that there was one other guy that was a power bat that they don't have homes, and this is him. I don't think he has a home anywhere. He's what, 40 something?
I think he's old. He'll be 42 at the start of the next season.
I think Bartolo Colon, the old man himself, has a higher chance of getting. I mean, deserves a roster spot than Cruz does. Cruz, he is a slightly better average hitter than Gallo, but I mean, he's old. He's not fast. He's just providing you that power. I mean, I wrote down he's staying with the Rays, but that's just out of charity. Like, there's not much else where he would go.
That's fair. I think he's going back to the Rays too, but you're saying like he is similar to Gallo. They just hit home runs, but people are expecting Gallo to be good. People are only expecting Cruz to hit home runs, which is why I think he gets another chance.
I'm actually gonna disagree with you, Tommy. I think that he will go back to the Rays, but I feel like he does have the roster spot. He hit 32 home runs in his age 41 season, and he still hit 255. I'm not sure what his OPS was. His OPS was 725. It's not great, but I feel like he's just going to keep writing 1-year deals until he literally can't move anymore, because he still hit 32 home runs at age 41. Guys like Pujols at age 41 could barely hit 200 and couldn't even hit 20 home runs in a season. So while I don't think that he's a great hitter, I feel like for his age, he's still doing really good. Even with the Twins in his late 30s, he still was performing at a high level. And I feel like he'll get a couple more, maybe 2 more 1-year deals. And then he's just going to retire. He's just going to keep signing 1-year deals until he's done.
Another team I can see that's either signs him this year or next year if he signs the Rays 1-year deal is the Rangers bringing him back so he can retire with
Rangers.
The Rangers.
Yeah.
Maybe just as a courtesy, just like they sign him to I don't know. I don't remember like in recent memory, but this is like a hockey thing that people will sometimes do is they'll bring him back for literally a 1-day contract and then he'll retire. Then they'll retire. I think that would be like maybe not this year, but maybe next year, just as a classy send off.
Yeah, I can see that. Next up, we got Max Scherzer. We're finally getting into the pitchers. I think he goes to the Padres. Honestly, this is all speculation. I feel like he wanted to go to San Diego more than LA. I could be totally wrong. And so I think in free agency, the Padres will offer more money so they can make the Dodgers worse and get better. And so I think he goes to the Padres because they're willing to outpay the Dodgers to be better than the Dodgers.
I think he's going to go from the NL West to the NL Central and sign with the Cincinnati Reds. I think that they could really use a guy like him. I think that they have, with saving money on Castellanos, I think they'll be able to pay him. I'm not really confident in that because I think he could also sign with the San Diego Padres, like you said. But I feel like it could definitely go that way because they don't really have like a star starting pitcher. They have what's his name, Sonny Gray, and they have Luis Castillo. But I feel like they could really use a true starting pitcher one, and I feel like he would be the guy that they would bring to do that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is with you guys having all these great players signing with Cubs rivals. Don't know if you like talked before this to do this, but don't know what's up with that.
I got the list last night.
I think that'd be a good fit because they just lost Wade Miley, who had a great year to the Cubs. It was a good move. He's probably our second best starting pitcher as of right now. It was a good move.
Chowder.
Yeah.
This one's for you.
Okay.
I think he's going to the Angels.
I would love that.
I can see that. I could easily see
they need pitching. And somehow, despite the fact that the Angels front office probably has a weed farm somewhere that they are using on a daily basis to make their executive decisions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I know that. Don't
No,
worry
no,
about it.
you're right.
I think they somehow solve their issue and they get a pitcher other than Otani who can actually go more than what, an inning, maybe 2.
3 being generous, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can
There's your
see that.
bias
I can
coming
see
out.
that.
I think
Mhm.
I think that's where he goes personally.
I can see it. Next up, we got Kevin Gossman. I think he goes back to the Giants, and I don't think he's going to be that good. I think he has a down year.
Kevin Gausman, I think he's going to sign with the Dodgers as the Scherzer replacement. I feel like they're going to be desperate enough to sign him, but not too desperate where they sign him to a contract he doesn't like. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to sign him to like some massive contract.
Yeah, no lucrative deal.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not going to be low. It's not going to be extremely high, but I feel like he's going to get more than he deserves. But 1 year wonder kind of thing. But
yeah, I mean, he fell off in the second half of this. Like he was looking like a Cy Young the first half, then he kind of fell off in mid-August.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Carlos Rodon. I think he goes back to the White Sox. I just don't see any other team believing in him enough to pay him more than what the White Sox will.
I think that he's gonna sign with the Tampa Bay Rays. As far as I know, Tyler Glasnow is still injured, and they need a starting pitcher. And this may not be the best starting pitcher to sign, but if you look at their roster, they have a lot of decent guys who are definitely underrated. They don't have like a Carlos. I think they need a Carlos Rodon kind of guy, at least for this year. I think they just need that pitcher,
And it doesn't go completely against the Rays model either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they can get him for I mean, not super cheap, but relatively cheap compared to a Max Scherzer or something like that. Like I feel like that's not bad at all. I kind of like that actually. I was also going to say I think the White Sox are the other logical option and just say, hey, we'll just bring you back. Here's what, I don't know, 10, 15, somewhere in there, $1 million. Come back.
Yeah. Clayton Kershaw, I think he's going to go back to the Dodgers. I think he'll take a pay cut to stay with them. He's been there all of his career. I don't see him leaving ever.
I agree. He's going to go back to the Dodgers. I don't think that one's really up for too much debate unless some other team jumps in with an absolutely massive offer. But I think that's where he's just going to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's a multi-step process. So I'm going to start this off with step 1. The Toronto Blue Jays. He moves up north. Randomly, I mean, out of nowhere, reunites with Hyunjin Ryu. I think that pitching staff is good. It's not great. It's good. I think Kershaw's a good veteran, another good veteran to throw into that mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I could see it because I don't see him going anywhere but the Dodgers, but it's realistic for the Blue Jays to want to bring him in. Speaking on the Blue Jays pitching staff, I think they're going to re-sign Robbie Ray.
I'm leaning towards the San Diego Padres, actually, instead of Max Scherzer. I feel like the Blue Jays got him for an absolute steal, considering how good of a year he had. 1 year, $8 million last year. I don't feel like they'll be able to pay him enough, at least from what they want. I just think that the Padres will attempt to sign him for more, and I think they'll be able to get him for more.
Yeah, realistic.
Welcome to part 2 of the series where literally every baseball fan on earth hates me. Robbie Ray goes to New York Yankees.
Bro, why do you keep picking players to go to the Yankees?
Because A, they have the money, and B, they need the pitching. Okay, great. Garrett Cole. Believe it or not, there are 4 other spots in a rotation, or 5, depending on whether you follow modern baseball philosophy. The Steinbrenners don't care how much money they're throwing at a guy. I think they have the money to do it. And I think that I'm going to do the exact same thing that the Padres did last year. They're going to invest in power and pitching.
Makes sense. I just don't want the Yankees to get good.
Me neither.
Next up,
I would like to clarify. I don't want any of this to happen. I don't want the Yankees to pick up Jorge Soler and Robbie Ray, but I just think they will.
Makes sense. That's fair. I've been waiting for this pick. It is the one pick where I think the Cubs actually have a chance of getting a big name. Marcus Stroman to the Chicago Cubs. He stated at the end of the year that he would not be opposed to coming and pitching in Ridley. He says he loves Ridley. He loves the city of Chicago. The Cubs are going to bring him in to have a 1-2 punch of Kyle Hendricks and Marcus Stroman. And it's the only team I picked the Cubs, so I've not been very biased.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on the bias bandwagon for this pick. He's gonna sign with the Angels. I thought he was gonna do it last year. He signed the 1-year qualifying offer, but I think the Angels need that starting pitcher besides Ohtani, and I feel like this is the guy that's gonna get it done. I like Marcus Stroman. He can be a decent pitcher for a while, and I feel like he would sign with the Angels. I feel like he wouldn't be opposed to it. He'd like to come play with some big names, and I think that the Angels would be willing to pay him enough money and finally sign a pitcher. Finally.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree, but with time before you give your pick, I really hope you pick the Rockies, and we all just picked our favorite teams for Marcus Stroman.
Now that would be
but
electric.
I doubt that's who you picked.
No, I didn't. And I agree with Chowder. I think he's going to LA.
He's going to Chicago.
No, but he's going to the Dodgers.
Oh, God. Come on.
The reason I say that is they need a bounce back. I haven't covered them bouncing back in the pitching department. Julio Urias is great. Walker Buehler is amazing. But Scherzer's gone. So you can thank me out. I think you would take a trade. I think you would rather have Scherzer over Marcus Stroman. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you'd rather have Scherzer than Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, but I feel like he'd rather have Max Scherzer on his team and Marcus Stroman on the Cubs rather than the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Because the Cubs aren't going to do anything next year. Doesn't matter who we sign.
I think the Dodgers need some sort of third wheel for pitching. I don't know does anybody know when Dustin May is coming back?
I hope soon. I like Dustin May.
Yeah, I like him too. I just don't know when he's coming back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next up, Zach Greinke. The last piece the Tigers signed, Zach Greinke, to be the ace, to mentor Treat Struble and Casey Mize, to make them that much better. And that's why I think they're going to make playoffs. They call up talk. They go all out. They sign Greinke, they sign Correa, and they sign Chris Taylor. And that's what puts them over the edge. Those 4 acquisitions, along with great years from Akil Badu and a solid last season from McGill, from Cabrera, and then good seasons from Treat Struble and Casey Mize, as well with CT3 and Correa playing well.
You know what? I'm going to go the same direction as you, but a little bit different. You talked about him, with the Tigers signing a lot of good players in there. He's what pushed them over the edge. I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to predict he's going to the Mariners. I think that he would be a really, really great piece for the Mariners to sign to mentor their pitchers.
I would love to watch him pitch.
Yeah, assuming, as I said, I don't think it's like, Rizzo, even though it might not be the most orthodox thing you could think of, it would maybe Rizzo and maybe Chris Bryant, reunite them and then add Greinke to that. I know Justin would absolutely love that.
That's a wacky offseason, I will say, though.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's the weirdest offseason I could draw up.
Yeah, it's super strange, but I think it could definitely happen. I would hate it with a passion, but I still think it could happen. It's kind of weird, but I'm still going to go with it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love for Brizzo to be reunited in Seattle. I don't think it's going to happen because they don't really need a first baseman, but that would be awesome.
I don't know what to say here. I honestly don't. So I'm just going to echo the sentiments of you two because I don't have a place for Greinke to go. I think he could be a budget option for the Rays. I think that's a viable choice. I think he could go to the Giants. I think that's another interesting option. The Dodgers are another pitcher needy team. A random one is the Twins. I think the Twins, they don't have pitching. Like there's no pitching in Minnesota anymore. And I think I don't know what direction they want to go. I don't know if they want to go full rebuild or if they want to go full contention, because they theoretically could go both ways with the lineup that they have right now. Who knows if the season was a fluke? Who knows? I think he could go there, but I think for my official prediction, I think he goes to the Tigers. I think that makes the most sense personally for me.
I mean, I think that's the first time we agreed with someone going to the same team that's not re-signing them.
Yeah, I think so.
When I was doing my, I've seen you shaking your head no so many times. Usually we have similar predictions, and we've been way off in this one.
Yeah.
My next one, I've been waiting for this one as well. This is my 100% guaranteed lock. If any one of my predictions that's not a re-signing is going to happen, it's this one. Yushi Kikuchi declined, I believe it was 14 million play option for the Mariners. He is not worth that money. He declined that because he wants to play in Los Angeles with Shohei Ohtani. The two Japanese players probably, I think he wants to play with Ohtani, and he's going to sign with the Angels.
Please, no, don't hurt me like this.
No. He declined his play option, which is more money than he's worth. And the Mariners aren't going to offer him more than that. I think he wants to play with Ohtani. I see Tommy shaking his head. I am so certain that this is going to happen.
I don't want him to sign with the Angels. I don't like Kikuchi. I wanted him to sign when he was a free agent, but he's just shown me nothing that makes me want the Angels to pay him any money. Even if we get him on a really good deal, I just think he'll hurt us more than help us.
I agree, but I still think that he wants to play with Ohtani so much, he's not even going to listen to most offers, and he's going to wait for that $3 or $5 million offer from the Angels, and he's going to accept it because he wants to play with Ohtani.
Okay.
I also think he signed with the Mariners mainly because of Ichiro. He wasn't there, but that's where Ichiro went, and he had a great feel. Like, I have a good feeling he likes to play with or around cultures where he had other Japanese players have played or currently plays.
I think that actually he's going to sign with the Chicago Cubs.
No. You guys finally give someone to the Cubs, and it's a player I don't really want for the Cubs.
Yeah, I just think that the Cubs will offer him more than he deserves, and it'll be enough for him to just be like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go play in Chicago at Wrigley. I mean, I just think that he would end up sadly being one of their better starting pitchers because they don't have starting pitching, and I don't think they'd be able to sign any other starting pitcher. So I feel like they could go with him. I don't think that'll happen. It might, I didn't really have a spot for him. There was no real home for Yusei Kikuchi. And I feel like that's where he'd end up going. Kind of just whatever, kind of just thrown out there. I don't really think that.
Because I said he's going to sign with you.
I can give you my I can give you mine through a song. I can give you mine through a song. Bob Dylan released a song in 2009 that was titled "If You Ever Go to Houston."
Why? That's so weird.
That's the most random team from the go to.
The reason I say that is I think they're going to lose both Greinke and Verlander, and then you have Framber Valdez and you have Luis Garcia. You need somebody else, and I think that he's still a quality enough pitcher that he's going to get money thrown at him. And with the money they're losing from other free agents going, I think they have the money to pick him up at still a relatively reasonable rate.
Yeah. And I want to hate him on the Cubs. I'm just so certain that he wants to play with Ohtani that I want him to go to the Angels, so I'm right on this because I'm so certain on it. I want to hate him on the Cubs because that'd be a solid pitcher if we do want to make a push in a few years with our prospects. Next up, Justin Verlander. I think he resigns. Not much to say. I just don't see him pitching here besides Houston.
I think he's going to go back to Detroit. I think that they'll be willing to pay him. Let's be honest, I really like him, but he's old. He's been injured. He's at the end of his career. There's no way he plays any more than 2 more seasons. And I think that if he manages to play 2 more seasons, they're both going to be with Detroit. Kind of a farewell tour. I mean, obviously Detroit's not going anywhere yet, unless they sign Correa and Castellanos. There might be even more incentive to have him come back, maybe contend again with his old team, reignite the fire kind of thing. We'll see.
I can see it. I was talking with my brother about this couple hours ago. He also thought Verlander was going to go to the Tigers.
So, shall we? I think that I endure much pain as a Rockies fan. Our front office has sucked for many years. Chowder has endured much pain as his front office has sucked for many years. Justin has endured much pain over the past 6 months because his front office has sucked for the past 6 months. So that being said, we can all not lay claim to the worst front office in baseball. I would like to present and bring forward the black and yellow.
Really?
I think they randomly say, "Hey, look, Pirates fans, the two of you that there are. Look, we have a marquee name. Yay!" And then that's all they do. And they win 50 games.
The Pirates are the only team in the Cubs division I don't hate because they've never been
They don't
good.
contend, yeah.
I just think they do it just because there's really not much else for him to go. He's a pitcher on his last legs of his career.
Yeah.
I think it's just like whatever, just throw a little bit of money at him. It's not that big of a deal.
I honestly like the Pirates because it's nice knowing that the Cubs won't finish last in the division. Even if we trade everyone away, we won't be last.
Yeah. Tommy's pick, I think, is so bad and so weird that it actually makes sense, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it to happen because then the Pirates could actually beat the Cubs a little too much. But
welcome to CNT, Chowder. We hope you stay more often. My picks are so weird and so often terrible.
I love it though. It's great. I love it.
We'll start one to the final five. We're going to show some love to relief pitchers. Start off with, who would have guessed it? A former Cubs player. Ryan Tepera. I think he goes to the Angels. The Angels really want to contend. They go out and get Story. They go out and
all you know how to do is throw pitching at the Angels. Poor Chowder. I know their pitching sucks, but you need to stop throwing every pitcher in free agency at the Angels.
I know. Last year I did this last year too. I said the Angels were going to sign who was that big name pitcher? Not Trevor Bauer. Not Bauer. It was someone else.
I don't remember anyone.
I don't remember. There was another one. It might have been Bauer. I said one of the top pitchers was going to go to the Angels.
I choose to forget these because it just causes me pain because the Angels never sign pitchers. So,
well, I think now the Angels, the front office, their eyes are now open because now not only is Trout screaming at them, Ohtani's going to be upset. So I think their eyes finally open. We have two generational talents. We got to go and make the playoffs. Otherwise, they're going to leave as soon as they can. And so I think their eyes are finally open. They signed Tepera for the bullpen. They signed UC for the rotation, and they signed Story to add even more bat presence. Even though
it was Bauer, Hendricks, and Kluber were the top three headlining names.
Then it must have been Bauer that I thought was going to go there.
As well as Masahiro Tanaka was also part of that. Alex Colomé, Shane Green.
That was weird.
I must have said Bauer was going there then.
That was a terrible pitching class last year.
That's super bad.
Yeah, I had him in Bauer then.
It also was bad because of hindsight too.
Mm-hmm.
We have to keep that in mind. Bauer being what he is,
he made it in class.
Yeah, I think that Ryan Tepera is going to sign with the Athletics. They need relief pitching, and I feel like that they'd be able to get him. It's kind of weird that I say this. I watched a lot of the Angels games, and the Angels called up so many pitchers last year, but I'm actually confident in our young bullpen. The Angels got all new relief pitchers last year, and they all sucked. And we called up minor leaguers, and we traded for guys, and I'm actually confident that they'll do good. We had a lot of guys that we brought up or traded for towards the end of the year that actually did decent. I only think the Angels are going to sign one or two relief pitchers, only one who's on this list. It may sound kind of weird, but I actually think that guys like Jansen Junk, guys that no one has ever heard of, will play for the Angels and they'll perform and they'll be able to push the Angels into the postseason.
How long have you been an Angels fan, Chowder? Just out of curiosity.
They're the only team I've ever really liked. I think 2014, I was 6 or 7.
Okay, so you're used to constant disappointment. Okay, just wanted to.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure. So I also wanted to make sure, how hot is your room? Are you overheating? You drinking enough water? Because there's a head fever or something going on. I'm worried about you.
I'm
you
good.
think
I'm
that
good.
bullpen's gonna do well?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. So I have him going to the Marlins, actually. Because we've talked about this rotation doing well, but how well is that bullpen gonna do in Miami? I think Tepera is a viable option to throw into that bullpen.
Mm-hmm. If I have it, I like that idea. I just don't see it happening. If I haven't said enough, we got one last former Cubs player.
Oh,
Andrew
I feel like we need we could make this list this video could just be like former Cubs players since we have a great comprehensive list.
It could easily.
Yeah.
One last one. It's the last one. Andrew Chafin. I lied during the Marcus Stroman one. Well, you guys were talking, I was thinking I originally had Chafin re-sign with the A's. However, I think it's either the A's or the Cubs. I mean, that's full and biased because I love Andrew Chafin, the sheriff, and think about it. Like they can make so much money off of the sheriff's back in town shorts, just enough that they might just sign him.
Oh, that's a great
he's going to the
idea.
A's. My prediction's the A's. I don't really think he's going to the Cubs, but I want him back. So
out of curiosity, I just want to ask you guys, how many people do you think I would make mad if I picked him to go to the Yankees? Just out of curiosity, I'm not going to, but I'm just curious how many people would I make mad if I
think everybody who watched the podcast
at this point, most people, because of how many Yankees picks you already have.
No, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. I don't think it's worth it for him.
I feel like you've become the most hated man in podcasts with how many picks you have to the Yankees right now.
I don't know. I think I've redeemed it myself with all the with the other fun picks I've had. I think I've redeemed myself.
And you said you don't want him to happen. I'm sure people weren't that mad.
No,
you made Yankees fans happy.
The Yankees had kind of buried down there too. If I really wanted to find it, I could. But
bro, weren't you wearing a Baltimore jersey and then put on a Yankees hat?
Yeah, and a Red Sox hat.
You did not do that.
Here. Oh, okay, fine. In honor of Marcus Semien and the greatness that he is, I'll put it on. Don't worry about it, guys.
The Orioles.
So I mean, this would be an interesting option. And actually, now that I'm saying that, I'm actually considering. I think it also. I mean, Kansas City is also another viable option. Yeah. We talked about them being a below the barrel type of bullpen. I think both of those teams could use a quality bullpen pitcher like Chafin.
I think the Phillies are going to sign him.
Ooh, I like that a lot. Sorry, keep going. Yeah. Sorry, I had
no. That's occurred to me. That's all I have to say. I mean, I just think the Phillies need a good reliever, and I feel like he'd be one that they'd sign. I think they would work. That's all I really have to say about that.
Next up, we have Kenley Jensen. I think he's going to sign with the Rays. I think the Dodgers are going to try and get him and then get outbidded by the Rays. And so they're going to go out and sign a different reliever.
What world are you living in where the Rays outbid the LA Dodgers? I love that pick. I am going to take that pick. But what world are we living in where they outbid the LA Dodgers?
I'm misworded. Not outbid. Out intrigue him. Because he got so much crap from Dodgers fans, rightfully so, that I feel like he wants out. And so he's not even going to consider re-signing. And so I think he signs before the last player I have signs, who I have signing with the Dodgers in retaliation to still have a closer.
I actually really like that. I wasn't really sure which way I was going to go, but I feel like he would fit perfectly on a team that needs a closer but is still a huge, massive contender. Because I had him on my list going to the Athletics, but then thinking back, they had a closer that did decent. I don't remember his name, but he closed some games and did decent. Yeah, Diekman. I don't know if he's still on the team, but
he's our next free agent, actually.
Okay. Oh, yes, he is. So, yeah, I'm not really sure, but I really like that Rays pick. I'm going to go with that now.
I made a mistake.
Okay. Houston. They don't have a closer. Brightman did not do well for them, and I think he's the guy for them.
Yeah, I can see it. So I made a mistake. I said who the Dodgers get is the last player. All lists are mixed up. I have Jake Diekman being my last guy. So I think Jake Diekman's going to the Dodgers. I love Jake Diekman. And if he goes Dodgers, I'm not gonna be as big a fan of him. And it's same reason why I love Joey Wendell. In the fantasy draft, I was live, and so there was someone in the live towards the end of the draft saying, in like round like 15, said, if you need a relief pitcher, pick up Jake Diekman. He's gonna be really solid. I draft Jake Diekman, my best relief pitcher by far, and a top 3 pitcher on my team. He said the same thing about Joey Wendell. Joey Wendell was consistently great and was the third best hitter on my team. And that's why I love Jake Diekman. And I think he's going to go to the Dodgers after the Rays get Jensen.
I think I'm going to go back to this one. I think he also signs with the Phillies. I think they spend on some relief pitchers. I think they could really use
their
him.
bullpen also sucks.
Fit. Yeah, exactly.
They lost a lot of games because of their bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they'd be willing to splurge to get a couple good relief pitchers.
Yeah.
Now, we're staying west. In fact, we're just going across the bay.
Okay.
I think the Giants pick him up. I talked about this earlier. I don't remember who exactly it was with. If someone wants to go back and look at it, they can. But the point being is that bullpen, I mean, Logan Webb, Kevin Gosman. Who's the third piece? One of you guys can in that rotation.
Oh, I don't remember.
Was it Anthony DeScalfani?
Anthony.
Oh, I was a big fan of him. I had him in fantasy too.
Those three, that's a great rotation. Like if you can build your rotation off of those 3 guys, but that bullpen needed a lot of work, and I think Diekman is a quality pitcher you throw in 8th or 9th inning, and can be a reliable guy day in and day out.
And I have one more that I was hoping we could discuss. Raisel Iglesias.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that one?
You're not gonna like this. I think that because they signed Tapera, they're gonna sign Tapera early on. That they're going to let Iglesias walk right on over to the Seattle Mariners.
Okay.
That one was kind of biased, but I don't think it's going back to the Angels. And I do feel like the Mariners really want to go all in right now. And so they pick him up to add to a pretty solid bullpen.
I actually have the Angels picking him up, but I think they're going to have to pay him a little bit more than they probably should because of the Miami Marlins. I feel like the Miami Marlins will make a very big push for him, but will fall short of signing him. And I think the Angels will pick him up again because the Angels have had one decent season from a closer in like the 6 years that I've been a fan. 6, 7, 8 years I've been a fan. And I don't think that they can afford to lose him.
Had a good closer since Houston Street, really, in like 2010.
Yeah, and we had one guy. What was his name? I don't remember his name. He had like one good season, and then he just completely sucked. He got traded to the Twins. I don't remember his name. While you do your prediction, I'll try and find his name.
So I don't have a definitive prediction for you guys, in all honesty. I got nothing for you. I'm going to throw out some names. I think the Tigers are still viable spenders. I think the Mets. Actually, yeah, that's going to be my prediction. I think the Mets pick him up. We talked about that Phillies bullpen being awful. Jacob deGrom is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And
also the Mets' best hitter.
Yeah, which is really sad and really disappointing, but it is what it is. And yeah, he's one that I think that's it for him. I think that bullpen needs work, and I think Raisel Iglesias is a good addition.
Yeah, and what I was going for was his name was Hansel Robles. He had one good year with the Angels in 2019.
I vaguely recognize that name.
Yeah, he had 23 saves. And then he had a 2.48 ERA, but then in 2020, he played in 18 games and had a 10.26 ERA and only had one save for the Angels. So he had one good year. Houston Street was good, but the Angels just cannot afford to lose Iglesias.
Mm-hmm.
He's the cornerstone of that bullpen.
Why was I convinced that the Angels had Brandon Workman at one point?
Did they?
No, they
didn't.
Think so. I just looked it up. They didn't, but I don't know why I thought they did.
He was on the Red Sox, I think.
Yeah, Red Sox, Cubs, and I think who was the other one?
Phillies.
Yeah.
So you really have none of those 35 players going to the Cubs at all.
And let me think back to the list of any of them that could go. I mean, maybe one of the 3 guys of that core come back to Chicago. Maybe. I think that's the only
Maybe
reasonable option
Castellanos.
in my eyes.
Maybe Castellanos chooses Chicago over Milwaukee.
I don't
Who
think
knows
Change
what-
so.
that pick.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I can't go with that, but I mean, if you wanna do that, you do you. But that's not me personally.
Not coming back. No one is. We're probably not going to get Marcus Stroman. The Cubs. I don't have any faith in them after trade deadline.
I think
Yeah.
the deadline was necessary. I mean, Chowder. I mean, we've both given our opinions on it. What do you think? I mean, what do you think of the deadline moves by the Cubs?
I think that they made a lot of sense for that point in time because they got some decent prospects back for trading guys away at the deadline when they knew they weren't going to make the postseason. They got Pete Crow Armstrong, I believe. They from the Mets. They got Nick Madrigal, which I think was the best trade they did. Was
No,
trading
They
away
Justin,
won that
Justin.
trade. They won that trade.
They won the
You
trade.
didn't-
I think
you-
so.
Sorry, we had a streak going for a while that was him
It was
bringing
like
up Nick
15
Nick
straight
Madrigal.
episodes where I would bring it up because they won the trade by so much. Tony Hero was a better relief pitcher in the second half than Fred Kimball was, and we got Nick Madrigal, who was a former top 50 prospect.
But yeah, the
Yeah.
Cubs players sucked at the wrong time.
I
Yeah.
think everything that happened was necessary, except we didn't have to make the Bryant trade, and I think that one was excessive because we lost that so hard. We didn't get any of the top 30 prospects, I believe.
I could agree
We
with
got
that.
fleeced for Bryant. We got fleeced for Bryant. The Bryant one, if we didn't do that, I think we can maybe make playoffs this year.
When is
Yeah, I-
Contreras
If
a
we
free
sign
agent?
good players
When is
Contreras.
Contreras a free agent?
next year. No, stop. I'm hearing trade rumors that we might trade Wilson Contreras. And if we trade him, CNT will probably not go out for at least 2 weeks. And there'll be a break or morning period for the Cubs. If that actually happens.
Yeah, I think that the trade, the Kimbrel trade and the Baez trade were good trades. I think the Rizzo and the Bryant trades, they didn't get enough in return for them to make those. But
What
I
was
think
the
that
return for Rizzo? I don't even
like
remember.
nothing, like
Kevin
literally
Alcantara,
nothing.
Kevin Alcantara and someone else.
Yeah, some other scrub. I don't know.
I like Kevin Alcantara. I think
Either
he'll
way.
be solid. I don't think he'll make the MLB on the Cubs. I think we'll trade him and he'll make the MLB on a different team.
But yeah, I like Pete Crow Armstrong as the return for Baez.
Mhm.
I really like that one. I feel like he's going to play a big future in the next couple of years for the Cubs, and he could end up being a trade piece. I don't really know. They might
Justin
keep him.
looks
They
so
might
sad
not.
right now. I feel bad. Justin looks so sad.
I am a little sad with we
All
talked
these
about the
all these
Cubs a
former Cubs
lot this
players we're
episode.
discussing.
I'm excited for PCA and Brennan.
All I'm excited for is to watch the hopes and dreams and pitching prospects, all 20 of them of the Angels,
Yeah.
burn out, fail,
Uh-huh.
and die.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
what's going to happen too. We drafted, I think I've only have real hope in two guys, and that's I don't even remember his first name, the Bachman guy we drafted 9th overall or 10th overall, I don't even remember. And then Kai Bush. I really like Kai Bush. He was our second round pick, lefty guy out of, I think it was St. Mary's. I'm not sure, but I think he has a bright future.
You know who I like out of the draft before it happened? Jordan Wicks. He did fall to the Cubs, and he was my favorite prospect. He wasn't the best. He was my favorite going into the draft. Just like Ed Howard last year. The fact we got Ed Howard at 16 was insane. I'm big on Ed Howard.
Yeah, Angels picked Reed Detmers too. That made me happy. That was
What's
really
it like having a future, guys? What's that like?
What future?
Well,
I'm not that
Justin has a
confident
future.
in it.
Just as a future, Cheddar. We don't. We're just sitting here.
Chowder's in the best spot. He has the MVP on his team. The
Yeah, that doesn't mean
undoubted
crap.
MVP.
We've had MVPs 4 of the last 8 years. It doesn't do anything. It
No,
really
you have
doesn't.
you
I'd
have the
rather miss
greatest
playoffs
player
and
in
at least
baseball
have the
right now.
MVP than trade your young core that brought a championship and have nothing. I'm very
Hats off,
tough and
hats
magical.
off to all three of our front offices for terrible or great or terrible. It depends on how you look at it. Management.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're all of our front offices are all bottom 10, maybe even bottom 7.
Easily. As of right now.
His is the only one that has a chance that could theoretically redeem itself for actually having won a World Series in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
I think the Angels have to make some really good moves. It was.
The Angels need pitching. That's it. They only need pitching.
I would like them to sign Story because they do need a shortstop. And I feel like anyone that we could put at shortstop would suck really, really bad.
Who is at short?
No one. Now? I mean, Luis Rengifo, if we're gonna like in them on the major league roster. Yeah, I know. That's exactly why I say we need Story, because literally no one. We could also get a second baseman and move Fletcher over to short. That'd be fine.
I mean, if I'm going with I would go with a budget option. Like if you're looking, I would rather trade for a shortstop.
Maybe Cesar Hernandez and move Fletcher to short. That could be good for them.
It might.
That'd be solid. I really like Cesar Hernandez. I think he's severely underrated.
I think you trade for somebody. Maybe a Nick Madrigal. You trade a closer for a Nick Madrigal.
No. Nick is staying with me.
This is fun. I love this.
He said that he wants to stay with the Cubs. No, he hasn't even played a game for us. Why would you say that?
That's his mistake.
But yeah, I think they do. I think it's more. It makes more sense for them to trade for a shortstop rather than try to pursue because this market is too vast with how many shortstops there are.
Don't even think about coming for Nick Madrigal or Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Schwindel for Rookie of the Year.
Who the heck is that?
Frank Schwindel.
I've heard the name. I don't know who that is though.
The best hitter in the second half. The best hitter in the second half of the NL.
Sorry, that made my day. Sorry.
No,
that was
statistically,
the best
statistically, he was a better hitter in the second half than Juan Soto. Statistically.
I'm gonna hold on. What did you say his name was? Frank Schwindel or something like that?
Yeah, he's the best player on the Cubs. And
that's kind of sad.
Are
the Cubs the Pirates?
Very sad.
Frank Schwindel. I've heard the name. I literally don't know who that is though. Frank
Schwindel. This conversation has devolved into. By the way, guys, we're at like an hour and 15 minutes recording. Just so you guys know, this is great.
Okay. Well, after Glenn Powell says what he wants about Frank the Tank, the best player in the league,
Schwindel.
We'll cut it after that.
Schwindel. His OPS. Oh yeah, he was actually really good last year. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He was good. He was a rookie. So was Patrick Wisdom.
Yeah, Patrick Wisdom. I'm glad I kept my autograph of him. Stadium Club.
No. It's you. I traded you that before he was with the Cubs.
I know you did.
I pulled it. I pulled that out of a pack on Christmas, like 3.
I got it for nothing too. You gave it to me for like almost nothing.
He wasn't supposed to be. No.
He wasn't supposed to be good. I tried getting rid of that when he was good, and I never was able to get rid of it for like $20. But
I tried to retrade for it when he was good, and your asking price was a little high.
I'll trade it now, or I can sell it. I don't care.
I have one, but he's in his Cardinals uniform in the one I have.
Yeah, I don't know what he's in mine. I think
he was in a
one.
I remember.
Yeah, he's Rangers.
I know
the
exact card.
Yeah, it's the what's it called? The horizontal stadium club. That was a sweet card.
Exactly
I love
the card. I know the exact card you're talking about.
This is fun. I'll just sit here. I'll let you guys go back and forth on the fact that he has a card that you want and that you got rid of, essentially.
Yeah. I still have it in there somewhere.
Wait, what do you guys remember the trade details? Just because I'm curious.
I traded was it a John Lester relic or something stupid like that?
Yeah.
It was a John Lester All-Star relic for like 3 different cards or 2 different cards, and I got the Wisdom for nothing. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see. I'm going to try and look for that.
I know exactly what it looks like. I can tell you the card. You can viewers go find it. I know exactly the card. I miss it. I'll go pull mine out.
I'll sell it to you for like $100 if you. No, I'm just kidding. But
I'll do the spotlight while they're going through cards. I'll do the spotlight. Open up a little box of Panini Prism. Let me turn my blurring off just because they're having fun. I gotta join in too. We got a little Sam Huff rookie action. Just gotta have a little bit of fun with it.
This is the one I have. Don Russ optic rated rookie auto. It's a nice card. I got it from a good friend of mine who collects cards, but he's in his Cardinals uniform. St. Louis Cardinals, my least favorite team, but one of my favorite players. Then I also have a Cardinals Don Russ rookie of him, and a Rangers rookie of him. Tops.
Poor Justin.
I honestly don't know. I have way too many cards for my own good, and I don't know where I put it.
Throwing me off.
Welcome to one of the most expensive hobbies on earth, my friends. Welcome.
Yeah.
That and golfing. So I think it's better. I think it's more enjoyable. Golfing is actually really expensive.
Yeah, the equipment isn't cheap.
Nor is booking like tee times or anything else.
Yeah.
I want to find one more card before we close out.
We just do it. We're just doing a card. We've done 2 episodes in the span of one.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
really
yeah.
Gonna end it.
I'll show this off. I was planning on doing this as card of the week, but I think this is a good spot for it. $300 million Cy Young.
Was it Garrett Cole? Nice.
Yeah, Garrett Cole draft auto from Lee.
So the card I wanted to show, I have a thick stack of PC cards not in cases because I have no more cases. So it has to be in here, otherwise I don't know where it's at.
Oh, and I'm going to show you guys something. This is one of the reasons I need Raisel Iglesias to sign again with the Angels, is because I have this. I have 4 pieces of a rainbow, and I need more, and it would really piss me off if he didn't sign. I have the 2018 finest. Oh, crap. Hold on. Let me turn my blurring off. Crap.
While
Why
turning
is
it
it
off,
working?
I'll show the card. It's the Frank Schwindel rookie.
There we go.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I have the Superfractor 1 of 1. I got it for like $60 or something.
Oh, so you have the hardest piece.
25. Yeah, I know. I can't find the red. The red's really hard too. Orange. I have the green, and I have the purple. Do either of you guys have any pieces? Have any cards from this one? Even just the base of the refractor.
I don't have any Lacy cards at all.
This is 2018 finest. I got the Superfractor from a friend.
I'll
for
look
like
into it.
$60.
I don't think I have any, but I'll look into it.
And no one puts any on eBay.
Finest.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I only spent. I mean, I had a couple. I went to the National this last year, and I had eBay coupons, so that's how I got these 2, I think. But I don't like, so I hardly spent any money on these 4. I mean, like under $70, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you have the gold one already?
No, yeah. I don't have the gold.
I just found a gold auto just on eBay. Out of 50.
Yeah, I'm just going for like the base one. The autos are actually really cheap. I have a signed ball of his right here. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
The tops, the base is just randomly on Amazon for 99 cents.
How much is the shipping though? It's like $4, right?
Yeah, $4.50 delivery.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find it on here so I don't have to pay for shipping fees, but it's really nice. If he doesn't sign, I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but really nice stuff.
There's a lot of autos.
Yeah, if he goes to the Mariners, I'd probably sell these 4 pieces, but I hope he doesn't.
I'm not posting them coming.
I also have this. I got this at the National in like a mystery box for $120. Let me see if I can get it out. I think that you would love this if he signed with the Mariners, but it's pretty sick. It's let me pull it here. Chris Bryant.
I'd be interested in it no matter what. I love Chris Bryant.
Yeah, if it really did, I wanted the Giants to win the World Series and him to win World Series MVP so I could sell this, but
I love
really nice.
I still consider him in my Cubs PC. He was my favorite player, but my favorite player's got to be on the Cubs or Mariners, so he's like number 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet card. It was like $120. The mystery box was. It was actually worth $120, like on the dot at that time, because that's the only one that had sold on eBay. Was for $120, but that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, we really got to end the episode.
Honestly, yes. We went long.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that shows good chemistry. We appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll have to have you back. If you guys enjoyed the longer episodes for the viewers, like the video so we know you want us to go longer than what we have been.
That was quite long.
Chowder, where can they find you on social medias?
Instagram at Clam Chowder Guy. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't post there anymore. So I wouldn't really, if you want to subscribe, go ahead, but I don't post. Just Instagram at Clam Chowder Guy. That's really it. Love to have you guys follow. I need to start posting more cards again. I don't really post a ton, but I'm very active on there, trading and buying and selling. Come check me out. Come DM me and make a deal.
Yeah. I have this stack of cards that are all pictures that I need to post on CNT cards. I took all the pictures of them last night. I just haven't posted them yet.
Yeah, and I might be doing a giveaway. I might be doing a giveaway soon too on Instagram. Long overdue. I was gonna do one quite a while ago, but never got around to doing it. So go follow me on Instagram, and I'll be posting a giveaway. Hopefully,
hop over. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna hop over. Yep, all good.
All right.
Go into his giveaway when he posts it, but also our giveaway for 100 subscribers is still going on. So make sure to enter. We're only, I think, 4 subscribers on YouTube away. So make sure to subscribe. Very close. It's going to close when it happens. So make sure you enter if you haven't yet.
And if I don't win, it's rigged. Just saying. I better win that.
I guess there's your evidence right there.
We're not gonna rig it so you win, and if you
we'll make sure to take your name off the list. Don't worry,
bro. If he wins, it's gonna look like it's rigged.
Well, I hope I win.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you guys again for watching.
We'll see you next week. Little sneak peek. It's already been recording. Next week is an interview, so stay tuned.
Yep. Thank you again for coming on, Chowder.
Yeah, absolutely. See you guys.